Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Freeform Dreadlock Talk. My name is Dark Moon Doll. I'm your host for today. Today's question was, do I think that it's possible to dye your dreadlocks using commercial dye in a healthy way? Well, this is just personal experience, and I've shared my experience with all of you guys before with dyeing my dreadlocks. I'll just go back in time a little bit more. With this set of dreadlocks that I have now, that I'm celebrating 18 years, this is my 18-year anniversary for my dreadlocks. So anyway, when I started out, I had a little TWA, little afro, teeny weeny afro, if people don't know what that means. And then as it started growing out, I just kind of let it dread. So what happened was I ended up with little dreads like this, only smaller. I thought, oh, these are kind of cool. Maybe I'll put some, make them blonde, make them pop a little bit. And so I looked in a lot of these supposedly natural hair care magazines, and I saw, something I liked. So I went to the store and I bought a box of, what was it? I can't even remember the names of those hair dyes anymore. It's been that long. It's been almost like 7 or 8 years since I've dyed my hair, my dreadlocks. So anyway, it was, I want to say L'Oreal, but I'm not sure what it was, but it was called Ultimate Blonde. And I used that on it. I followed the instructions and everything like that. And after I did it, my hair felt really dry. And then I just kind of ignored that and just thought, oh, it'll be okay after a while. And it just kept feeling dry. So I stopped dyeing my hair because I figured that was not a good idea to do. And maybe I stripped it too much, lifting the color off of the dread. That takes a lot of wear and tear on whether it's dreadlocks or just regular hair in general, stripping the color of it so that you could have a more vibrant color than you have. For me, it was very damaging. So I just let my dreads keep growing out. And then all of a sudden I just got this itch to dye them again. Only this time I want to try green. Green sounds like a cool color, So then I did that again. What I did was I had to strip the color off of it because my hair is brown. That's the color of it. It's brown, and it's got little highlights of red in there in the sun, but it's pretty much brown, and sometimes when the sun's hitting it, it looks like it's got a little bit of blonde in it. So anyway, yeah, I dyed it green. I'd strip the color. Excuse me. And when I stripped the color, it was orange. It's crazy, crazy orange. And then I put the green dye on it, and then it was cool. It was green. My son said I looked like the Joker, but when I looked in the mirror at it, I just didn't feel like it was me. I just didn't feel like me. I mean, I don't want to have green hair for however long this dye is going to last. It didn't feel like me. So I let it wear out eventually. And then I thought, well, but it wasn't wearing out as fast as I thought. So well, I'll just dye it with black. So I bought some commercial dye and put black on there because I was going to see my mother-in-law. And I felt a little self-conscious about having green dreadlocks. So I dyed it black with just regular dye in the grocery store or whatever. And then that was cool, whatever. But it just, there was a few more times that I dyed it again blonde. And after a while, my dreads got some wear and tear on them. These long ones right here, right there, they got really thin in the middle, and just pretty much all over. Pieces of my dreads at the ends broke off. After it's now been 18 years, there's still some damage that's fallen off. So do I feel like you can dye your hair, your dreadlocks, healthily with commercial dyes? I don't think that's a question I'm qualified to answer for you personally. Because, I mean, if you're dyeing your dreadlocks and they're working for you, you haven't had any damage, then that's probably fine for you. But for me, it's way too damaging. And my crown is very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person, and those dyes, they're not good for me. I even had an allergic reaction once to one where I broke out like on my scalp and everything like that. So that's my answer to that. It's not healthy for me. Is it healthy for you? Is it healthy for anybody else? I can't answer that question. That's something you have to answer for yourself. I've gotten to this point where I'm happy with the color of my hair. I don't feel like I want to change it. Some people do, and that's cool. Some people like all these different colors, and they're pretty. They're pretty colors. Some people with blue dreadlocks, purple dreadlocks, pink dreadlocks. They're cute. They're pretty. But that's not what I want. I'm an artist. I draw. So I can draw these people with these colored dreadlocks if I wanted to, which I do in a lot of my drawings and paintings, which I sell in my shop. So to answer your question, I think that's something the individual has to answer for themselves, because I don't know what's going on in anybody's mind, and they know what they need to do for their own hair, or what they want to do for their own hair. I realize that a lot of people haven't started dreadlocks for the same reason that I have. It's a spiritual journey for me. It's about getting connected to myself, and I feel like my dreadlocks are my antennas, like I've said on many shows. And I did share with you guys on one of my shows, I don't remember which one, where it talked about how someone that I worked with who had dreadlocks told me, these are your antenna, these are very important. And I just kind of took that in and came home, and that same night I walked outside, and before I got all the way outside I felt a zap in one of my dreads. Like it was indeed an antenna. So that's my viewpoint on it. This is what my experience. If you experience the same thing, that's cool. But you see what works right for you, what feels right for you. If dyeing your hair your dreadlocks doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. If it does, try it. I would suggest, if you wanted to dye it, maybe just take a little strand of your loose hair and see how you feel about it. But I don't want to promote dyeing dreadlocks, because that's not what I do. If you want to really find out more about that, ask people that have dreadlocks that are dyed and you think they look good, and ask their opinion on it and how you should go about it. I mean, people have asked me, like one woman I met, she had dreadlocks, and she's just going to dye the tips of them. She says, I don't care about it breaking off, I just think it look cool. So, it's up to you, man. It's up to you, everyone, to decide what you want to do with your head. I can't make that decision for you. I can't say, no, you shouldn't do that because it's unhealthy and your dreadlocks will be destroyed. I'm not going to say all that, because what's true for me may not be true for someone else. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for a Freeform Dreadlock Talk. I don't know about next week what I'm going to do. If you want to and you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a message or a comment down below and let me know anything you have, are puzzled about freeform dreadlocks. I mean, for me, it's just simple. Keep them clean and go. Most thing I do is put beads on them, beads that I like to make. I got 2 dread sleeves from Naughty Sleeves, who's really awesome. People keep asking about her. And that's it. I mean, pull it up in a bun like this when I do housework. See that? Woo! That's all it is, man. It's not like, for me, it's not really fashion. It's not at all. It's not a trend thing for me. It's a spiritual journey. All right. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for leaving such kind comments throughout the years. I really appreciate it. And take care of yourself. Just relax. Okay, guys. See you next week. Peace.